passion. Love is what we need. Sierra Leoneans, love is what we need. We else ought to be realm of the free. With ease of love we are for thee. Anytime they talk about sweet Salone, no. About fetch, anytime they write about Mama Salone, now we for
Una kushe. Good evening and welcome to the Young Sierra Leoneans 4th annual Slack Fest. Tonight we've got a star-studded lineup just for you as we take a look at Sierra Leone beyond borders in partnership with Poplar Union. So our first speaker, Ade Darami, is a journalist with over 40 years experience, a broadcaster, historian, and a social commentator, passionate about the development in Sierra Leone.
My talk is called Inspired by Our Ancestors, and the subtitle is Using the Past to Inspire the Present in order to build a better future. And so, yeah, I'll kick off. You know, as I said, when you tell somebody that you went to school and you lived in Sierra Leone in the 1960s to 1970, it really doesn't say half of what you're really trying to get into. But then you have to go deeper in order to get them to understand. Because for me, and for those of us of my generation who grew up in Sierra Leone, we consider these kind of the 10 most crucial years in the nation's history. I mean, open to challenge, of course. But, you know, when we saw Black Panther and we thought, hey, this Wakanda, it kind of sounds like this area we thought we were going to grow up in. You know, and really, that's the truth. And, you know, why do I say this? Well, at those years, you know, everything was fresh and new, not just in Sierra Leone, but in Africa. If you consider that in 1960 alone, 17 African countries gained independence. Sierra Leone got independence a year later. But so this was a time when, you know, there was a kind of firmament. And honestly, you know, growing up in Sierra Leone at that time, we lived in a country where it wasn't even a case of the sky's the limit. We actually thought beyond that. And I can tell you, when it was announced by John Kennedy that, you know, one day America would land a man on the moon, you know, with complete nonchalance, we just said in Sierra Leone, yeah, one day maybe we'll do that too. And to us at the time, it didn't seem ridiculous. However, if you've lived in Sierra Leone recently, it sounds like the most ridiculous fantasy. And so how did we get to that stage from 1961 to where we are now, where once we could dream the most outrageous dreams, and now it's almost like you're not allowed to dream at all. You know, so those dreams we had by 1970 were already beginning to fade and become tarnished. And eventually, I have to say, those dreams died. But this talk is it's not one about despair, because I'm one of those romantics who believe that we actually can get back to those heights, but there's a collective will that needs to be employed in order to do that.
Nothing no go make you feel jolly and merry, like the real colat we young baby gets. When mommy can the bio and mente am. Just like how we on Mama Salone, been the bio we and mente we.
Vicky Rameau is a multi-content producer who loves a good story. She's an active citizen who uses digital media to amplify women and youth issues, national unity, good governance, and dignity in Sierra Leone.
Thank you to the Sierra Leone Arts and Culture Festival and every one of you joining us here today to fellowship. I'll be speaking at first about Sierra Leone as our sunken place and our collective trauma. Then I'll talk about my experiences as a creative and an entrepreneur. Lastly, I'll share what has worked for me as a child of the diaspora who keeps one leg in and another out of Sierra Leone while trying to make an impact. If you are a citizen of Sierra Leone, every bad thing that happens sinks you deeper into the sunken place. Then just they do we. We not able to talk, we not able to move. All tin above case. A clear sign that we're living with trauma. How many of you have ever had a good idea or an opportunity, something you wanted to start in Sierra Leone? When you told your Sierra Leonean loved ones, chances are they tried to dissuade you. As a third culture kid who is both local and foreign, trying to make a positive impact in Sierra Leone, here are some of the things that have worked for me. First and foremost, I learned early that proximity to power was not power. And when people let me down, I brush it off and I keep going, understanding that letdowns are a part of sunken place syndrome. In a sunken place where everyone works with fear and trauma, there is no trust. If you want to break out of that cycle, you must honor your word and commitments. No matter what is going on around you, stay focused on honing your craft and improving your skill. As a creative and as an entrepreneur, even when you do not have clients, when there's no money, you must continue to create, you must continue to produce, and you must continue to learn. Consider your life as a lab. Be in a state of constant experimentation, noting the inputs from yourself that yields the best results. In the sunken place, the only way to start the process of change is to work from within. The changes and growth you see with yourself and your work will give you the confidence you need to keep moving forward. Practice all the time. Try new recipes that no one will taste. Take photos that no one will see. Write stories that no one will read. Design a dress that no one will wear. Just keep doing and learning, unlearning, and creating. If you play your part on your side of the gutter, and I do my part on mine, before long, we can turn our gutter into a garden. And what feels like a burden, finally, into a blessing. Thank you so much, Slackfest.
Vicky.
And
Love it, love it,
Vicky,
love it, love
I
it.
have chills.
Wicked,
There were so many quotable moments. Like when you said, if you can build with a collective, you can become stronger collectively. I really feel like that embodies what we try to do.
That's you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, that's exactly.
For me, there's no sweeter success than a hometown success. So I just wouldn't feel right promoting my music everywhere else so heavily, but not coming back.
Hey, what's happening, guys? I trust you're all doing well. My name is Edmund Kamara.
My name is Ngozi Cole. My name is Aisha Kamara.
Dominic Fofana.
I'm Sherry Ladiola.
Maurice Njusu.
Ahmad James Conte, aka African Pope. I'm an actor, director, producer,
Writer, a poet, a performer.
Photographer and a filmmaker.
I'm an architect in London and I own a football team in Sierra Leone called Legend FC.
I am a Sierra Leonean writer,
Events curator, a men's stylist,
A graduate engineer, aka country artist.
and I'm also the founder and editor of Poda Poda Stories, which is a digital literary journal for Sierra Leoneans.
Asabi, as I talk, you don't vex. One chance, they give me for saying they on my chest. Asabi you. Waiting people then get for talk. Better pass you picking in pain. Asabi you. Akiwan can hear you so, but you say I dey bug you. So, Asabi you. As you add up work no go well. Anything I talk now na poil. Asabi you. I tire for explain. But me mama you dey cause me boku pain.
Okay guys, so the moment has come. The moment that all of you came here for. I know this is the moment where you get to meet the legendaries.
Sierra Leonean voices in the diaspora are represented in global art spaces, and that's that really speaks to, you know, how much are we trying to bridge the gap and how much our Sierra Leonean creatives at home, number one, are exposed to what's out there, and number two, have access and information as to what's out there. Because the difference with creatives in the diaspora is that they know about these opportunities. They know the websites to go to, they have the networks. They also have, I guess, the infrastructure. So like,
I just agree, really, because I think one of the things I thought when I went over there, and I remember we had that that kind of meeting on next to the water, and it was just a circle of creatives talking about that, and that's something that stuck out to me. Now everything is online, but Ngozi, you mentioned all those barriers that I think over here we kind of don't necessarily appreciate. So when I was over there, I was asking the questions just to find out, you know, why, for example, if it's music, why isn't everyone who does music on Spotify, for example? Or if, you know, it's some kind of arts, why aren't we putting it, don't we have a website? It seems so easy for me on this side. And then when I was over there and I was having the conversations, I was like, okay, what can we do in the diaspora maybe to partner maybe, or what are the ways that we can collectively bridge those gaps?
I think now we get the platform and now we get the energy for self-salon stuff. So if we not at home not appreciate them and put them out there, then it can't be represented in the diaspora. For instance, there is this art exhibition at X Lagos, which happen every year. So there was this one time when I wanted to apply for that art exhibition, and I learned that an artist cannot apply for himself. You need a gallery to represent you to apply for that art exhibition. And Salone not get any art gallery. So yeah, so the infrastructure and system not be in place for the Sierra Leonean artists to be represented out there.
I mean, it happens all over the world, really, but it was definitely prominent in Sierra Leone that there was not a lot of interest in the arts. Everyone knows Salone people, we like enjoyment, right? But we see it as arts is just for enjoyment. It's extracurricular, or it's meant to be a pastime. And I found that there's not enough emphasis put into the industry of the arts. Like the arts industries generate money for multiple countries all over the world. And like Morrison was saying, a great place would be to put it into music, but unfortunately they still see arts, music, artwork, dancing, singing, drama, etc. as something that's an afterthought. And I just feel like if there was some more energy put in towards that, into those sectors, for not just for money but for well-being as well. But I feel like there should be more education surrounding what the arts actually can do for you. It can be a viable career, but even if it's not a career, there's transferable skills, there's well-being, there's expression, there's creativity, all of that kind of stuff. So that has to come from the top, because if the people that run the country have more of an understanding of the benefits of it, I feel like the people that populate the country will also agree.
Slackfest is built and would not thrive without the many hands making it light work. So we just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who've come to celebrate with us, to catch jokes, and also to reflect. And finally, we'd like to thank our partners, Poplar Union, Check Out Africa, and Colourful Radio. And now we leave you with a behind the scenes film of the Big Flex photo shoot.
On the beat. Okay, you wonder where you can tell, get my the way they can tell it. You wonder where they can tell, get my the way they can tell it. You wonder where they can tell, nobody ever said smart. They said they go and tell, you wonder where they can tell. Feel free, baby, not forget. Where you the hype, make you not forget. You secret, now me own, baby, not forget. Yeah, I see you, yes, yeah, you mad for set. I feel free, baby, not forget.